Hello students, welcome to another lesson. I'm continuing with poetry and today we are looking at attitude, tone and mood. This is the greatest challenge to students and many students ask me, teacher, how do I know attitude? How do I know tone? How do I identify mood in a poem? So take a pen and be very keen with what I'm talking about and make notes. Kindly make notes. So attitude, tone, and mood. We start with the first one, which is attitude. The attitude. So it refers to the feeling of the persona towards the subject matter. It refers to the feelings of the persona towards the subject matter. So we are getting now back to the terms that I introduced as I was introducing poetry. And we said persona is the voice in a poem. The voice in a poem. And the subject matter, we said it is the message conveyed by the poem. So how does this persona feel about the subject matter in a poem? So attitude is not about you who is reading. It is not about the poet. It is about the who? The persona, the voice in the poem. How does he, she feel or it feel about the subject matter? The persona will have a given feeling towards a given topic, idea, situation, or a person, which is revealed through the tone that he or she uses. So attitude may vary from one stanza to another, or it can be the same in a whole poem. So understand what attitude first is, and so we can be able to narrow down now to which are the terms that we can use when describing what? Attitude. So attitude is about the persona, the voice in the poem, having towards the subject matter, the subject, the content in the poem. For example, if a persona is pleased with something, then he, she will have a happy attitude. If the person or the persona who is the voice in the poem is friendly, has an attitude of friendliness, then the attitude will be loving. If I have a friend, how do I feel about this friend? I love this friend. Okay? If I have a friend and this friend wrongs me and he or she is my friend, and then I use words in a poem that show that I am forgiving this person, then I'll have an attitude of what? Forgiving attitude. Are we together? So if I am unfriendly to somebody, then I'll have an attitude of a hateful attitude or a sarcastic attitude. So how do I feel about somebody or something? It is expressed through attitude. And now because we are talking about poem, how does a persona feel towards the subject matter in a poem? And when we are talking about attitude, then the terms we use are in their adjective form. The terms we use, they should be in adjective form. Are we together? So I give an example of drought. Let us now fantasize. There is drought in a certain area and children are playing outside under the hot weather. Then all of a sudden, clouds gather and within no time, raindrops start falling. Now, these children have not seen rain for quite a long time. What would you expect of the children? They'll be pleased to see raindrops. And parents would call them back to the house so that they don't get rained on. And what will the children do? They'll run away from their houses so that they may feel the raindrops fall on them. So the attitude of pleasure, because they are raindrops. So which is the adjective that we can use to show pleasure? We can use happy attitude. We can use cheerful attitude. We can use pleasant attitude towards pleasure. Okay? So what about someone is in pain? If someone is in pain, what kind of attitude will this person have? Worried, troubled, irritable. So all these are attitudes. So read the poem. As I said, understand the poem, identify the persona, the voice in the poem, and so you'll be able to tell what kind of attitude this person has towards the subject matter. That is the persona. Are we together? So I don't want to take you very fast because this is a topic that many students finish Form 4 without knowing what attitude, tone, and mood are. So I move to tone. Tone is the quality in the voice which expresses the speaker's feelings or thoughts, often towards the person or thing being addressed. So tone is the quality of voice which expresses the speaker's feelings. So we are still in the persona, the speaker's feelings or thoughts, often towards the person or thing being addressed. Are you together? So that is what we refer to the tone. The poet may maintain the same tone throughout the poem, or it may vary from one stanza to the other depending with the content of the poem. So when you're identifying tone, then the following should be a major thing to look at. You should look at the subject matter. What is the poem about? You should also look at the choice of words. Which words is the persona using? Okay. Is there happy? Is there sad? Is there, angry words in the poem? The pitch, is it high or low? The pace or rhythm. So that is how we identify tone, the voice. So some of these terms that can be used to describe tone are formal, informal, cheerful, ironic, sad, sarcastic, romantic, playful, depending with the poem. So tone is about the voice used. So I can move to the mood. Mood is a word that is used with atmosphere to bring the prevailing feeling. Okay? Prevailing feeling or frame of mind in a poem. It refers to the feeling that the poem looks for in the reader. So the mood mostly goes to the reader. When you're reading this poem, what kind of atmosphere does the poem create? What kind of atmosphere does the poem create or evoke in you as a person? So I've said attitude, tone is for the persona, while mood is for the reader. How do you feel when you read a sad poem? So you'll have a sad mood. If you're reading about My Sunshine, what kind of mood will it bring? A happy mood because it's talking about love. So mood is more on the reader than the persona. Are we together? So that is what mood is about. So with that, you'll use the same terms that I have used. We can have sorrowful mood. We can have romantic mood. We can have happy mood. We can have sad mood, melancholic mood. What about that which brings memory of the past? What do we call that? Please answer in the comment section. So with that, I have come to the end of my lesson on mood, tone, and attitude. So note that tone, mood, and attitude are interrelated. Tone is the quality of voice, okay? Mood is the state of mind, while attitude is the feeling towards something or somebody. So all these terms are intertwined, they are related for you to come up with a good answer. So if you have any question about mood, attitude, and tone, you feel free to go to the comment section and ask the questions. So look for a poem that has these questions and attempt the questions. So thank you for listening. Have a good day if you are watching it during the day. If it is an afternoon, have a good afternoon. If you are watching it at night, have a good night. But make sure every time you listen to my audios, you make notes and at least have 10 questions. Don't finish an audio and put it aside without answering questions. Look for questions. By the time you're getting back to school, you'll have a lot to give your teacher for marking. So thank you and have a good time.